Hey guys, the Chief Asch here today to do another one of our OctoberQuest reviews. Today I will be reviewing a movie that this doesn't happen to me that much. I have disagreed. It's got a low rating on every critic website ever. Typically, for the most part, I agree with a lot of their stuff. That there's always that one thing, and that someone, a critical, a professional critic or whatever will complain about it, whatever. And I'll be like, yeah. But on this situation, I disagree with everything I've seen critics post about this movie. The movie is Treehouse, which is a more or less a slasher movie made just a couple of years ago, and I think it was set in the early 2000s, but it was made in like 2014. And I really enjoyed the movie. And then when I looked it up, everyone shits on it. I saw one review that even referred to it as the worst movie ever made, and I really didn't catch that. They were like, oh, the acting sucks, and there's no story, and this doesn't make sense, and this doesn't make sense, and all of it totally worked for me, and it was really weird. But Treehouse is this movie where these kids are getting kidnapped from this town, and they're disappearing. They're getting kidnapped, and then the movie starts off, and this girl is coming home, and she finds that her house has been broken into, and her brother's gone, and she sees a shadowy figure, and I think this is maybe where people had a problem with it, but I thought it was kind of neat. But it was a shadowy figure running into the forest, and so she chases after him. And then she falls, and then she disappears, and blah 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 blah. And that's kind of her story for the first bit, and then it comes up on these brothers, and the brothers are gonna go shoot fireworks in this forest. Things transpire, and they end up hiding in this. They end up exploring inside this treehouse and finding the girl from the beginning of the movie, and then things happen from there. And essentially why it's called Treehouse, because it's called Treehouse because they go up and they hide in there, and then they get trapped up in there by the bad guy kind of things. And at first it's I'm gonna have to say it. I've been trying to avoid spoilers in the last couple, but this one's gonna have spoilers just because they're gonna be light, so you can still watch it if you want to. But it's one of those things, because I would highly suggest watching this movie, because to me, there's a controversy here, because I really enjoyed the movie, and apparently a lot of people didn't. But so I'm gonna give you. It's gonna be one spoiler, so maybe you can go off of that. So at first they're shadowy figure. You see the shadowy figure at the beginning of the movie, and then it's at night, and you see them, and they're really, they're dim. They're shadowy, and they kind of have this demonic feel to them. And they make all these weird noises when they're close. And there was a scene that actually made my skin crawl, and it was one of the monster-esque dudes are looking in the treehouse trying to find them, and they're hiding in the shadows, and looking around, and it kind of creeped me out. But apparently I'm the only one. But it kind of creeped me out, and then eventually what happens is this is the small spoiler. Close your ears if you don't want to hear it. Once again, it's small, but it's. I think this was the point of the movie that people wanted to, that ruined it for them. But apparently, the things that almost look demonic, they're the shadowy figures. They're three brothers. They're people, regular humans. They're three human brothers that are have mental handicaps, and their mother dies, and they just start killing. They start kidnapping and killing kids for fun. I don't see any problem. Well, I'm not going to say it. That was a weird wording. I was going to say I don't see any problem with that. I don't really see any problem with the plot here. When I saw it, I thought that was kind of neat, because it very much played them off as these monsters, and it even showed because only the small one made these really weird noises, and it shows him as a human, and he's making those weird noises, and he breathes funny, and he also has this really big limp. And because he has handicaps and stuff like that, obviously some physical, it's not a stretch for me to believe that he might have some sort of physical deformity in his lungs or something to make those noises. So it doesn't hurt me there. And the movie, I'm going to try to avoid a huge spoiler, because that's a big one that I just said. But the biggest one, I'm not going to say it, but the ending of the movie, don't freak out. But the ending of the movie, in my opinion, is really unique. It doesn't end like other horror movies do, and I feel like it works out really well. Like I really want to go into this, but it's one of those things I just don't want to. I don't want to give it all away. I know I have in a couple videos, but I'm trying to avoid it. And this is one I really feel like you should watch. And then fucking like contact me, send me a message, and let's talk about this movie. I want to have a conversation about this movie because I don't see why everyone hates it. I felt, and the two main actors in the movie, the girl and the guy that plays Killian, I don't think they're that bad. Some of the things on the internet were like, oh yeah, they fall into stereotypical slasher teenager stuff, but the background characters, the extra murders that some of them aren't even showed until they're dead, like they're very unimportant. They do, like I'll give them that, but they're off screen, so it's not something that's super stereotypical slasher because it happens off screen. You never actually see the character until they're dead. But so there's that. And it only happens once that I saw that, like I was just like, yeah, okay, that like that was stupid of them. But like the main girl character, the female character, is very smart and she really doesn't fuck up. That I noticed. She doesn't like go out of her way and just mess up everything like they do in a lot of slasher movies. She doesn't make any stupid decisions. The boy Killian, he'll do kind of stuff like that, but she'll stop him. They're like kind of canceling out because most of that doesn't come to fruition. Killian does one thing in the whole movie, and it's at the start. It's almost as soon as he meets her. So and after that, she stops him every time, and so I don't really see the classic slasher motifs as in the cheesy teenagers met like fucking up and all that. It really seemed to kind of work. It worked for me. It really did. But once again, I want to have this discussion. So I would definitely check the movie out. A lot of people apparently would say you shouldn't, but I would check it out. I felt like it was a rather well done movie. The acting was pretty, like even the brothers that as actors, they were all pretty solid. Like even some of the side characters that just talked for a little bit, solid acting, and the story was rather believable. I felt like all the questions were answered, and then I loved the way it ended. So take that as you will. The movie is Treehouse. It's definitely worth the time, worth the effort to watch, in my opinion. If not, watch it and then just blow me up. I don't care. Check it out. Contact me and let's talk about this movie. I want to see. Maybe you can make me hate it. I don't know. But this has been the Chief Asch on Treehouse, and keep watching.